And we're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Jordan Nielsen here, host of Real Estate Pros on Lister Pros TV, and today we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, Fairway Mortgage with Trish Williams.
Hi.
Of Keller Williams.
Yes.
Marketplace One.
The
Marketplace
Keller
One.
Williams, the Marketplace One, yes.
Awesome. Thanks
Yes.
so much for taking time out of your busy day and joining me on Real Estate Pros.
Well, thanks for having me here. Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll give you a couple of minutes to introduce yourself for those watching that don't know who you are.
Okay, so I'm Trish Williams with Trish Williams' team in Las Vegas, Keller Williams, the Marketplace One. I am a full-time, real estate agent. We work with buyers, sellers. We work with investors. We have a team. The team is it's myself, another buyer's agent, and a full-time admin, and we have an intern that works with us right now as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in the business?
I have been in real estate for 4 years.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I got into real estate. I actually have a background in construction. I was a union painter, believe it or not.
You were?
For 10 years. I did specialty finishes, such as like faux finishing, just kind of like specialty stuff. I was in the union for 10 years as a painter, and just wanted a change of pace. I always wanted to get into real estate. I was always fascinated by real estate, so I just jumped in it. And my first year, I was Rookie of the Year. I just kind of hit the ground running, went after it, and it's been very successful since.
So you're not having remorse for missing painting too much at this point in your
Not
career?
at all. If I never pick up a paintbrush again, it might be too soon.
Yeah.
So it was fun. I mean, it was like more, it wasn't just like painting walls, but still, just not my.
But was it like house, like construction, like new build? Or
No.
what
No. So I was doing like commercial, like the Strip. When you go into, like some casinos, you see like the clouds or the marble, things that look like marble with paint, that stuff.
Oh, so like more
yeah, it was kind
creative.
of fun, very creative. I'm a creative type of person. So yeah, it was fun. It was creative, but yeah.
So painter transitioned to real estate agent and becoming Rookie of the Year. Now, how did you become Rookie of the Year?
Well, I went after it. To me, I had. I said I wanted to get into real estate. A lot of people said, oh, well, everybody does real estate. And, everybody wants to get into real estate. It never works out, right? Like that's, it's statistics. 80-90% of realtors don't make it past the first year.
Right.
So I had a lot of people telling me it was a bad decision, and I really wanted to do it. It's so weird because most people would think when it comes to artwork, creativity, you would have a passion for that. I've really never had much of a passion for it. I just happen to have a talent. But real estate, I have a passion. I love doing it. And I wanted it, really, really bad. So I went after it. I just, when I started off my first year, it was 7 days a week. Just went after it until I got it. I was, just out there all the time, just hitting the ground, calling people, open houses, door knocking. I mean, all the basics of what, you're supposed to do. And I built a good foundation, a good business, a good foundation. And the level of customer service that we offer is just above and beyond. Our clients, at the end of a transaction, they're happy, but not just happy, oh, everything went well. We go above and beyond. We take the extra step. We go the extra mile. If somebody doesn't understand what's going on, we walk them through. We explain step by step. I'll explain the contract from front to back. No problem, because I'd rather them know what they're signing than not get into it later of what just happened. So we provide this extra level that's so great. And since my first year I sold 25 houses. Since then my business from there on has been off of referrals.
Really?
Yeah. I still generate business. I still lead generate. I still cold call. I still do that. And I get business from that. But our number one source of business is referrals. It's just people that have had such a great experience with us that they tell everybody. So
sure. But I think you went over it quick, but getting into the business, so the hard part as a real estate agent is to get your, obviously you figured it out early, right?
Right.
Around customer experience.
Right.
You know, you deliver a great customer experience. They're going to refer their friends and family to use you
Right.
when they need to buy or sell. But as a brand new agent, when you don't have any business, what was the secret to your success? Was it just the hustle where you were doing open houses and door knocking?
It's the people, for some reason, and I was one of those people. So for some reason I thought that you just get a real estate license and then, I don't know, people just come and say, I want to buy a house, but it doesn't work that way, right? You have to find them. You have to search for leads. And there's so many people that when they realize that you have to actually go after business and search for leads, they're done. They're like, this isn't what I signed up for. You know, I'm not going to be a telemarketer. So a lot of people, that's what scares them away. It's not being afraid to do that and do it until I talk to a lot of new agents all the time, of course, because I was Rookie of the Year. A lot of people say, like, how did you do it or what happened? And one of the biggest things that people have is they say, oh, you know, I made five phone calls today, or I made 10 phone calls today, so I'm done. And I'm like, well, do you have any business? Did any business result out of that? So why are you done? Did you work 8 hours at it? Did you work 1 hour at it? Like, to me, it's your job. Why aren't you dedicating 8 hours to find business every day until you get business? Because it's still a job. Like, if you have a job and you show up for 1 hour and you say, oh, nothing's happening, there's no one walked in the door, I go home, do you get paid? You don't get paid. So if you don't dedicate 8 hours into finding business, lead generating, doing whatever it takes to get business, to get new business coming on when you have none, how are you even calling it a job? You're just hoping to get lucky. So it's taking it and using it as, you know, looking at real estate as a job. It is a job, unless you're, you know, if you're doing it part-time, you know, but that's, again, you know, I mean, part-time real estate, that's a weird gray area. You know, it's just, you know, a lot of clients, especially, you know, with buyers, you're working with buyers, they have to work around your schedule. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
So it's just, you know, you really have to dedicate yourself into the business, or else you're just going to get whatever falls in your lap, and that's not going to create a career.
I think that's what a lot of brand new agents kind of get sucked into, right? Because maybe they were used to working a 9 to 5 or a set schedule, and then you jump into real estate. You don't really have, or you could have accountability partners or whatever like that, but you're not necessarily forced to be there from a certain time to certain time, right?
No one tells you to get up in the morning and go to work. Yeah, you don't have to. There's nothing that you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. So if you're a brand new agent and you're having an open house, or you have the day free and you don't have an office. You know, a lot of brand new agents don't have an office inside the office. Why not have an open house and have your office there? Why not, you know, have an open house, set up an open house for, you know, 8 to 5. Even if it's a weekday, you might be the only open house that weekday. Someone might wander in. I mean, it's Vegas. People have different work schedules. So why not have your office at an open house and work the whole day, and maybe somebody will wander in the door too. So there's just, you know, it's just different ways of looking at it. I get up every morning at 5:30 in the morning, but I'm at work. I'm at the office every morning between 7:30 and 7:45, whether I have appointments or not, because I have a job. And as long as I have a job, I'm going to show up to work. So I'm going to be doing something. It's just looking at it like it's a job.
Right. So to be Rookie of the Year, you have to actually work at it. That's basically what I'm getting
Big
at.
surprise, yeah. Big surprise.
You don't just get your license, fall into real estate, and all of a sudden become successful.
Yeah, that's the biggest. I mean, that's people's perceptions of what realtors do. We actually do work, you know what I mean? So just the public, they think, oh, you open doors and you get paid. Like, it's a great job, and I'm going to become a real estate agent because it's no work and it's easy, or I work my own schedule, or whatever people think. It's not. It's work. It's work just like any other job is work. It's just if you really apply yourself, you can be successful.
Sure. So you started 4 years ago. Now you're kind of at a different spot in your real estate career. You have the Trish team. So what does that look like? I know you briefly went over it a little bit earlier, but tell us what it looks like.
Trish Williams' team is, we're a small team. Right now we're small. We're growing. We're looking for talent, but, you know, right now we're still small. We're a tight-knit team. It's just me. We have a buyer's agent who she's in the process of getting trained at taking listings also. She's amazing. She's a, you know, really hard worker, and she's at it all the time. So I'm grateful for her. And we have a full-time admin who is in the office. She handles our paperwork. She handles our, just making sure that everything's delivered on time. We know every deadline. I mean, there's never a due diligence period, a contingency, a home inspection, time, or anything that comes up that we forget about. Because let's be honest, when you're a real estate agent, you're out there, you're running around, you're in appointments all the time. I found out the hard way as a single agent that sometimes customer service will fail a little bit because you're too busy and it's just, we're human, we're only human. So that's when I realized that it's very important. I needed somebody in the office to watch over, keep us organized. So that's what she does. She's amazing. She's a rock star. She's also a very hard worker. So on our team, hard work is very, very important. So they, Allie, who's my buyer's agent, she works primarily with the buyers. She goes out, shows houses, and she helps get them set up with what they're looking for. I work with sellers primarily, where I just, I go out, I'm on listing appointments, I'm telling people what we can do for them for listing, and then our marketing. So, I oversee just everything that happens with the listings, from day one, to close, just making sure that it's doing good, it's performing good.
Right. So it sounds like overall, as you've grown your team, you figured out ways to better serve your clients, right?
Exactly.
You've realized gaps, when you're out there showing properties, you may not always be available to answer your phone right away, so you put people in place to make sure that your customer experience.
We have a standard of service. We return all calls within 2 hours. So we have to make sure that we have as people available to make sure that that's always met.
Sure.
So our, we have our client experience is so important to us. That's the most, the most important thing. If I have, somebody's unhappy, I'm unhappy. So it's not, I'm not the kind. It's just not in my personality to be the kind of person to hear someone's unhappy and be like, oh, forget it, just never call them again or whatever. I'm like, no, I want to fix it. I want to make it right. What can we do? Because I want at the end of it for them to say, Trish Williams' team's really done them good. So.
Sure. So with so many real estate agents here in the Vegas area, why do people choose to hire your team versus the agent or whatever down the street?
Well, most of the time, like I said, primarily it's referrals. So a lot of times, referral business is, it's one of those, even me, when I'm looking for a landscaper, I'd rather go for somebody that a friend told me did well, because you never know. Anybody can open a website. So,
right.
And they can make it look great, but you never know what you're dealing with, or what to do. So a lot of the people that I meet are referrals. Other than that, when I'm meeting a new person, that I've never met before, we have marketing pieces, especially for sellers. Before I meet with a seller, I send out this packet, and it's like, they don't miss it. It's special, because to me it's special, so to them it looks special. Shows up in the mail. It's in a bright red bubble mailer.
Really?
Yeah.
This is before you go to the listing person?
Before I meet them. I next day it. So listing appointments the next day, it's going to show up in their mail, bright red bubble mailer. It's huge, and it's important, right? So they inside there is a book of testimonials, past clients, testimonials, letters of recommendation, just everything that real people have said about us and what we do for them. So it's just, immediately I'm trying to build my credibility with them. Just let them know who I am. I don't want to show up in front of them and brag about myself, because I hate that.
Right.
But
I'm so awesome. No.
Yeah, I'm so awesome. I'm the best. I just don't want to do that. But I want them to know that I'm the one, because I know I'm the one. Like, I know that, you want to work with us. We can do better for you. But sometimes it's hard to relay that without sounding arrogant. So we put together just a package where we're not saying it. It's just everything that everybody else has said. And then always, whenever I meet somebody just out anywhere, I pass a card or something, I just say, look us up. Take a minute. Look us up. Wherever, pick your whatever you want to look us up at. If it's Zillow, if it's Trulia, if it's Realtor.com. We're everywhere. So just, if you type in Trish Williams Las Vegas, you're going to find us. So look us up and see what people are saying, because we have amazing reviews. I don't think we've had a bad one. So I hope that stays the same.
Yeah. Knock on wood, right?
Knock on wood, yes.
So, what else during listing presentations? Because that's another key factor to being a successful listing agent, right? You got to kind of stand out. So you've already talked about how you stand out by setting yourself up for success by sending them the package prior. What
Right.
does that listing presentation look like that ultimately makes the client want to hire you versus the next person that they may interview, may or may not?
Right. So we've, for our listing presentation, what we do for listings is, most people say it, but, we really do it. We don't just put a sign in the yard. We have a marketing program. So our marketing program is completely laid out in our listing presentation. Every source, every step that we use for marketing, and we're strategic. We're strategic about every step of the way. We have, it's from the date that the listing is input to every source that we market on, we track. We even do like the reverse prospecting in the MLS where we can see how many other agents are looking at the listing and how many are sending them to their clients. We are very strategic on how we market our listings. So our numbers are great. Most of our listings sell and they sell at top dollar. We are really, the proof is always in the track record. So we have an amazing track record. Every once in a while, you can't get them all, but
Right.
every once in a while we'll have something odd that falls off or something like that. But for the most part, we have an amazing track record. Our listings are just they sell faster, they sell at a higher price. I always I meet the appraisers at the listings, and I don't meet them there to try to talk them into price or anything stupid like that, but I meet them there because every time when I meet with a seller, we run comps. We look at when I meet with the seller, I don't go in there with the CMA and say, this is how we're pricing your house. I review over the whole thing with them. So the price is something that we come at together, me and the seller will agree on. And when I go to meet the appraiser, I bring those same papers that I went over with the seller and I say, this is what we base the price on. Just so you can have it for your records, just in case you're wondering how we came up with this number or anything happens, this is what we did. And it has the whole breakdown there of how we justified it. And a lot of times it's helpful because what I see with appraisers when they show up at houses is they go and they do their appraisal or whatever, but sometimes they have questions and there's nobody there to answer them. So they'll just come up with their own answers. And sometimes the answers they come up with aren't the correct answers. They don't. We know the house. We're the agents. So
Right.
meeting them there and doing that is very helpful.
And I think that's something that not most, I would
Most
say
people don't.
most people don't. They kind of just order the appraisal and they hope it comes back good. But that's an extra key step in going to bat for your clients, because if the appraisal comes down low
Right.
because you weren't there to explain something, then that.
Right. So what's the first thing that happens when an appraisal comes in low? A lot of times the listing agent will say, oh, I want to dispute the appraisal. They didn't consider these comps, because the listing agent always has those comps that they base the price off of.
Right.
So they want to dispute the appraisal because it didn't include those comps. Why didn't you show up and give them to them? To me, it's like they get rid of the dispute process and just give it to them at first. The appraiser is going to do their job, and they're going to decide whether or not they're going to consider them. And there's times where they said, oh, we can't consider this comp because of this or this, and they'll note that on the appraisal report. But at least I can go back to my seller and say, remember, we used this comp, and the appraiser said they can't use it because of this. But there's an explanation with it.
Right.
So then the seller knows that they've been done right. Just to me, what I see with our team is if other agents aren't doing it, or if other people aren't doing it, but it's something that can be done, we're doing it. We want to do it because that's what's different about us.
Absolutely. So what advice would you give for a brand new agent that's just getting started today in real estate?
Get at it. Get on the phones. Don't be afraid of lead generation. It's prospecting. You should be constantly fishing every day for buyers or sellers. It's not. I had a girl one time that's she had started in real estate, and I was kind of coaching her, trying to just show her the ropes of going along. And I called her one day, and I was just trying to motivate her, like, hey, what are you doing today to generate leads? And she's like, oh no, I'm just gonna I'm rearranging my house. I'm just waiting for real estate to pick up. And I was like, what?
What?
Are people coming to your door? Like, what are you doing? Like that? That's not how it works. No, get out there, get outside. If you have work to do on the computer, like I said, go do an open house, do the work there. If you know, and some people get so like just caught up in, I gotta set up my websites and I gotta do all this other stuff, but you have no business. So go out in public where someone can wander across you. Do it in a Starbucks, wear your name tag. You know, just do things to be able to meet people. If you're doing them all in your home or even in your office, I mean, it's great to be in the office to like talk to people and ask tips or, you know, whatever to do, but you're not getting clients there. Get out in front of people so you can get business, get clients, and get started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's some great advice for new agents. Got to get out of their comfort zone. I mean, I think a lot of people are kind of afraid to get out of their comfort zone and kind of meet people that they don't know, but that's what you have to do to be able to start your business off right. And that would attribute to those people that actually can hang in real estate. Like you said, 80% have a tendency to die off.
It takes tenacity. My husband, when I started in real estate, it was like kind of a thing that we had where he said, you know, I had to pass out 10 cards a day no matter what. And it was sometimes it'd be so awkward and so silly because we'd be like in a line at a grocery store and I'd just be like, hey.
Here's a card. Here's a card.
Well, no, not like that. But, you know, I knew I was like, you know, I was like, oh, I did this many and I have 3 left I still have to get rid of before, you know, I go home at the end of the day. I haven't got them all out. So it's like, you know, anybody would make eye contact with me. I'd be like, hey, how's it going? I'm a realtor. It was awkward. So
well, that's great with the accountability, right?
Right.
He sounds like he was your accountability partner.
He is certainly my accountability partner. He's great. He's like a behind the scenes coach. So it's awesome.
Awesome.
But yeah.
Sweet, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and joining me on Real Estate Pros.
I'm happy to be
Trish.
here. Thanks for having me.
Or so people watching, maybe if they are looking to buy or sell in the area of Las Vegas,
Yes.
how do people get a hold of you?
So obviously phone number, Trish Williams, 702-308-2878 is my phone number. Our website is www.lasvegashomestwt.com. It's Trish Williams team. And again, like I said earlier, you Google Trish Williams Las Vegas, you're going to see a whole bunch of stuff on us. So we're there.
Awesome. Thank you,
All
Trish.
right, thank
It was
you.
a pleasure. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.